This video is intended for viewers aged 13 and up. If you are not 13 yet, please leave. Hello everybody, my name is Kanohii Mineka, and welcome back to the week of Fantastic Four Wave whatever reviews. And today we are getting right back into the Fantastic Four team by reviewing Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch. Now, Johnny Storm's a pretty interesting character. He's the hothead of the group. Yeah, haha, very funny because he's the Human Torch. Ooh, but yeah, that's very much his character quirk. And this figure, I honestly do kind of enjoy a good bit. You know, he does reuse parts from previous Marvel Legends, but like a lot of Marvel Legends do that. That's kind of how the toy line works. But yeah. I do think it was really well done. But hey, let's get further into a closer look of this figure. I do really like a lot of the painting and the sculpting on this figure, and the best of it comes into focus with the face. I think the face paint is very clean, and I do really like the design that they went for. It's very nicely done. And I also really like how they did the hair with the little speckles of paint in the blonde-ish hair tone to kind of make it a dirty blonde, similar to his sister, Sue Storm. And I just think the little bits of speckling adds a little bit of extra definition that some Marvel Legends just don't really have in their hair sculpts. But yeah, I think that head sculpt is really well done, in my personal opinion. The body sculpt, I'm pretty sure, is reused from, like, a Spider-Man. From what I've heard, I think it's Spider-Man 2099, probably. Just with new painting on it. And the painting, once again, is very similar to the rest of the Fantastic Four, except for one of them. And this, once again, brings a bit of team unison back into the forefront, even if it is a bit samey, in all honesty, especially for the torso. The arms, you can say a lot of the same things, though one of the big things is that this is a Johnny Storm mold is a lot more buff than Mr. Fantastic was. I think that adds a decent amount of variety in the two of them, since they're both males, you know? Having them have different body sculpts is very nice, even though they do use a lot of the same printing. A lot of the same can be said about the legs, even though he does use the exact same feet, from what I can tell, with shared with between him and Mr. Fantastic, which is a bit annoying. I've told you my gripes about these feet before, but yeah. The painting's really good, though. I think it's very well done for being like a color on black. There isn't really a lot of chipping or a lot of bleed through of the black coloring on the figure. But yeah, now that we've gone through his look, why don't we get to his accessories? Now, it's basic hand stuff, so let's get on with it. To start off, Johnny Storm comes with a pair of basic fists. These might even be the same fists that Mr. Fantastic had, and once again, very nicely painted as per usual. However, he also comes with these really nice translucent orange flame-on hands, one being in a fist and the other being in an open hand, with little bits of flame coming off of them. And then to go along with them, they have these kind of rubbery pieces that go around the arm, which adds to the effect that he's catching himself on fire. And I feel like this is probably my favorite of the accessory parts that come with these figures, in terms of showing off their powers, other than maybe the Build-A-Figure, but whatever. I think this is a very well done expression of their power, you know? I just really enjoy it, and I honestly keep these hands on him most of the time, showing how good these parts are. However, with that out of the way, we can now get on to the articulation. And out of the main Fantastic Four, this figure I'm pretty sure has the best articulation out of all of them. So, starting off with the head, he has the typical Marvel Legends head joint, where it's on a ball joint, which allows it to tilt side to side, and is able to swivel around and do a little bit of up and down tilt. But it's also on the typical hinge that allows it to go up about that far, and down about that far. The arms have a bit more articulation than the other ones. primarily because of this butterfly joint, which is probably because this is a Spider-Man figure, and a bunch of Spider-Man figures have butterfly joints. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them. So for the butterfly joint, he's able to move inward and outward, which is very nice, especially for a dude who flies a lot. And then he has the typical shoulder joint, which is able to swivel all the way around and move out about that far. And he also has a bicep swivel to go along with that, a double-jointed elbow, which can be limited by the fiery bits. And this elbow, sadly, on my copy, has a bit of a QC issue. It's thus making it a bit looser. And both types of hands are your typical Marvel Legends hands, where they're able to swivel and hinge in and out, though the fire hands are limited by the sculpting on the back in how far back they can go. But that's fine, in all honesty. The torso has a hinge joint that allows him to crunch in that far and bow back that far, which is very nice. And it also has a nice swivel at the waist, which is always greatly appreciated. In terms of the legs, he has your typical kind of like double ball joint going from one leg to the other, which allows it to go kick up that far, kick back not super far because of the butt sculpting, but that's always there, and is able to move out about that far. Not amazing, but it's serviceable in all honesty. This figure also has a thigh swivel, a double jointed bend at the knee, a boot cut, which I always like, and look at the Superior Octopus, so I'm pretty sure these guys might share the same mold, and a nice hinged foot as per usual. So yeah, this figure is very nicely articulated. He can get into some pretty nice dynamic poses, and yes, I know I'm not the greatest poser in the world, but even still, this high level of articulation allows him to do a lot, you know, and I really enjoy that about this figure. And before I get into size comparisons, I want to tell you he did fall over when I tried to set him down, which is a problem, once again, with the weird dimples on the boots, but I talked about that more in the Mr. Fantastic review. Go check that one out if you want a very baseline review of the Fantastic Four figures. So to get into his height, he is about 6.5 inches to the top of the head. Pretty average height for a Marvel Legends 6-inch scale figure, even though it's slightly above the 1/12 scale that a lot of other companies use. It's probably like 1/11.5 scale, in all honesty. And to compare him to other figures, here we have Siege Megatron, the Marvel Legends Mark 7 Iron Man, Siege Leader Class Shockwave, the Marvel Legends Superior Octopus from I'm pretty sure a little over 2 weeks ago, or whatever. Whenever this comes out, I'm not sure. I'm kind of bulk recording these, and then I'm going to slowly upload them. But yeah, it looks like they do use the same body mold. Well, no, actually, they don't. They don't use the same body mold. They use different body molds between them, used on different Spider-Mans. Sorry about that. They do use different molds. Okay, good to know. My previous review, his sister Sue Storm, who is even harder to stand up than Johnny here, which is annoying. The amazing Yamaguchi Bleeding Edge Iron Man. And finally, here he is next to the rest of the Fantastic Four. And once again, these guys look really good together, bub-a-dabba-doo. I told you about this in 2 other reviews, and I tell you it in 1 more. A-boot, yabba-dabba-doo, woo! So yeah, all in all, I do really enjoy this figure. I think he's pretty well done for the character that he's trying to be, and I do definitely recommend him. I mean, there's one other member of the Fantastic Four I would recommend over him, but yeah, overall, I feel like this wave has been pretty good so far. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe for more toy reviews and whatnot like it. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you would like, leave a comment or something, I don't know. And tune in tomorrow, where hopefully I will have up my review of the final member of the Fantastic Four, The Thing. And I wanted to get through the 3 characters who are the most similar first, before I got to the 3 crazy people. So yeah, I hope you'll tune in when we go over The Thing. I hope you enjoy. Bye-bye!